Attack Chat 17. This is Dan. Only love and discernment can drive out hate and fear, and only connection can create compassion. And they want to keep connection from happening because they feed off of fear. We need to raise the world's consciousness a little bit. And if we can raise even 1% of the world's consciousness, that would be 177 million people more conscious. We can do this through love and discernment and compassion, because only love and discernment will drive out hate and fear. And only connection will allow compassion. And they want to keep all that from happening. They, maybe the 144,000, the mythical warriors of the rainbow. My cat's talking to me. The mythical warriors of the rainbow can awaken the 1%. Maybe that's what the 144,000 are here to try to do. What are you meowing at? Huh? Every time I try to make one of these, my cat starts going nuts. But yeah, only love and discernment can drive out hate and fear. The opposite of love is fear. The opposite of love is fear. It vibrates at a completely different level. In fact, love vibrates at the same level as hate. And people tend to hate what they fear. And the only way to get over what you fear is through knowledge. And they don't want us having correct knowledge. What, kitty? Talk about the cat down the road. How about the cat in your basement? So, in order to create an atmosphere of more love and discernment and compassion, we have to realize when we're listening to lies. Am I not supposed to be doing this? Can you hear this cat? What's the matter? What are you doing, crazy? Anyway, the way to have connection, real connection, and therefore compassion, is to see the validation in another's eyes. They're creating a world of loneliness. They don't want us to have real touch. They're feeding off of fear and shame. And the only two things that vibrate lower than shame or fear is actual physical death. Discernment's the same thing as understanding. And it's impossible to fear what you understand. We usually fear that which we don't understand. So to understand who they are, to understand what we're dealing with, takes a little bit of research and a little bit of study. To be able to see the lies that are going on in the world today. It's worth saying again, only love and discernment will drive out hate and fear. I can't say that enough. Discernment is understanding. The one thing that's not going to help us, that I see a lot of in the world, is apathy and indifference. Apathy and indifference. Indifference is the same thing as emotional abandonment. In fact, it is emotional abandonment. Indifference and apathy is really a self-protection mechanism, but it leads to hate. It is abandonment. It's the opposite of love. So when somebody's indifferent, there's no connection. If there's no connection, there's no compassion. If there's no compassion, there'll be no validation. You'll see no validation with what you're trying to say or communicate in the eyes of another, which is what we need desperately with connection. I don't know if all this makes sense. Probably doesn't. Or maybe it makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I know this. We don't have to have our rights scribbled down on a parchment and call it a constitution when those rights are inherent by our very existence. Those rights are inherent in nature, under nature's creator. They're inherent. They're our birthright. Freedom is our birthright. You have to look at the bigger picture. You know, read some of the books I've talked about. They brought me closer to God with a capital G. Source consciousness. Something in the world is trying to awaken a bunch of us. And it started with many of us several years ago. It didn't just start in 2020. You know, I started making videos the fall 2019 before any of this happened. Although I had a feeling something was going to happen. It's one of the reasons I got myself in shape for 2020. Little did I know that my toxic masculinity was going to lead to an injury. I'll probably go do more toxically masculine things after this podcast. But one of those things I'm going to do that is completely masculine is connect with my fellow human beings and take correct action. So ask yourself, what can you do to help shed a little truth on everything that's going on and to help create more connection? Because there's only one reason why our country isn't on lockdown when all the other countries in the world are. Okay? This is just a little carrot before the next stick. And I won't be surprised before July is over, probably somewhere around halfway, well, maybe a little bit past halfway, midpoint of July. I won't be surprised if we don't see some visitors from the sky. Call me crazy. I don't care. But just remember, love and discernment drive out hate and fear. Connection creates compassion. Without compassion, we're not going to elevate our consciousness. Without connection, we're not going to be able to have compassion because, you know, that's them. We other them. They. We're all one. We are one. There's no separation. Respect and peace. Okay, this is Dan again. I always forget to do this. I want to plug my book, Rise from Darkness, Who Are They? Spiritually Bankrupt to Spiritually Awakened. This book is on Amazon. You could find it. I'm not going to give a website. Just look for Rise from Darkness, Who Are They? It's on Amazon. It's for sale. It's free on Kindle. I also wanted to give a shout out to the Church of Radiant Lights on the 14th of July. It's Wednesday, 7 o'clock in the evening. I will be doing a talk there about that book and about other spiritually related things, including what I talked about in this podcast. Thank you.